Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin Ethereum report for Monday, the 28th of June. So with Bitcoin here, we can look at this market with wave 3 here and an A and a B and a C wave down here and have our low in here, and then we just, go to the moon, so to speak, over here. That it's possible. It's just something we need to work through. That's all. The count that we're working with here, we're a little bit more conservative, is this count here. So from the top, we're looking down at an impulse wave to the downside as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming into play here on this low here, as you know, and then looking for an ABC for the B wave and then down for the C wave. This is pretty common. This has been the common theme for the, the sort of last dozen odd corrections, in that we have, a 3-wave swing here, but an expanded flat is possible. It's just that the distance above here is fine for an expanded flat, where it moved above this high here in terms of that distance, but moving this far down is it's okay, but and it has pulled back to the wave 4 of one lesser degree. It's just a little bit extended, but yeah, so it's good having a few counts, because as long as they're all valid, and then we just view them and we work through them. So if it's going to be bullish and it's just going to keep going to the moon, so to speak, then we know that we need to be careful here. That's all. And we can also get to understand the structure as we move along as well. The other point is that, do we have this low in place? That's the other question that we need to be viewing. So we've had it like this here. There's different ways to look at all of this, of course. I'm not saying my count is right, but I mean, what I like to do is keep, do the best wave counts that I can, and then use the trading levels to help us move into the market. They just keep us much safe. So in this case, we were always talking about the 35,000 here. So yeah, and realistically, halfway between, this is a major level here at 30, then we've got 40. There's levels that go all the way through here, but the 5 being the second strongest number. It was important, and we were looking for a classic trading levels pattern sitting on this 35 here. We didn't get it. The market's dropped. We are long in here. So we'll stay long, and we'll see if we get support this time here. But I do want to talk about this because, what happens if that, because I think it's good to look at both sides of the coin. Some people say that, well, that's good, Pete, and other people say, well, Pete, you got too many counts. I don't know what's going on. And most of the time we don't know what's going on, but sometimes the 20 odd percent or the 25% of the time that we do know what's going on, then they're the times that we trade. You need to pick and choose your thing here. So is it possible for this to be wave 1 down here and this back for wave 2? Well, sure, it's possible. Anything is possible. So what we need to do, though, is that from the low here, if this is some sort of A and B and C wave up here, then this is going to be in 5 waves here. So once those 5 waves are finished and we make a new high above the 5th wave, then we know that we can rule out that count, It's a simple, but I need to make you aware of it, so that's what we're going to do. Let's go to the hourly chart here for a moment. So from the top here to the bottom, we could look at this as an A and a B and a C wave here, like I just mentioned. So that means that we'd need to understand wave B to wave C there, the 5 waves for that. And that's really going to leave us back at 35,000. Obviously we can look at this as, let's just check this out a little bit, shall we? We're in a wave C, we're looking for 5 waves, so we could look at this as 1 and 2 in here. We obviously look at this as wave 3 here. Probably an A and a B and a C wave here for this, I would assume at this point. And then that would leave us with wave 5 going up here. So they would be our 5 waves. So we'll have a closer look at this on the tick chart. But I mean, it does give us that, and this is our 50-60% retracement level, and this is the number that we're working with. So we just need to see how that plays out in that, you know, in that space. So let's check on that. So this is just the tick chart here. So just double checking on things. That's the third wave. That's the fourth wave. That's the fifth wave. Do we have any other labeling here? We'll just borrow these over here, I think. Yeah, that's cool. Don't need those. Four, five. Okay, and then we're looking at 5 waves in this move here, I guess. So obviously the third wave and fourth wave. So we're very close to a top here for this, whatever that was there, that rush. So we can come to the same sort of conclusion here, really. So at the, just pointing out, at the 35,000 here, to go long, we need this pattern here. So if this is the 35 here, we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, blah, blah, blah. And then, so what we're looking for here is the reference point high, right? That first high above the level, that we can go long above that, but you'll only know that. Don't go chasing that up there. Just allow it to top out. It 90% of the time it will fold back over here. The only reason it normally continues up through here is that if there's a lot of accumulation in some sort of sideways pattern below the level. But yeah, this is basically what we're looking for. So we can just draw that out here a little bit. It may or may not push all the way up here. I'm not quite sure, but let's just put this in here. That first high could be a bit shorter. It could be a little bit higher. Doesn't matter. You just kind of want to get that clear, you know, pattern sort of happening, something of that. Well, look, this thing here is okay, isn't it? So we could, you know, be something like that. So you might make mistakes, and it's not always a beautiful picture, but so let's just say that you made mistakes in here. Afterwards, when this happens, I know that's hindsight, but if you took that high and then you drop it down to that high, you could drop it down further and so on, and you may have made a mistake in here. You might, let's just say that you went long here and then you had your stop under here. That's okay, you have a loss, and then you get back on the horse again and you're on your way again, you know. So it takes a while to develop a skill set, but it's not, the skill set's part of it, but also too is basically identifying or getting to know a market, really. You know, it's like a human being. We're all the same, but we're all uniquely different as well. And markets are like that as well. So if you're good with relationships, then you'll notice all the subtleties in the markets as well. Yeah, I mean, I find girls are better with Elliott Wave than boys. That's just my observation. So we're looking, we'll call that wave C top in just here for that. So that this is really what we're looking for here. But in your own way, we want to find that number there as support. You could have gone long here, because this is also important, because we've got 30,000 and we've got 1, 2 and 3 that make up group 1, and you know that if you get support on group 1, then you'll get to the number 5. So you may have, you know, gone here, but I'm just shooting the breeze, you know. So that's the 5 waves there. We should really sort of compare that to ETH as well, which will be exactly the same, I'd imagine, or close. Okay, so let's just recap this for a moment. Put this back on 200. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart for a moment. So we could have wave 3 with wave 4 and wave 5 making a new low here. That's all very satisfactory, by the way. And from that basis, which we talked about before, then we're looking for a move to the upside. It's possible to squeeze 5 waves out of this here, but it's also possible to look at it as corrective as well. It's not a beautiful 5-wave structure. Not that wave 1 is a lot of the time. Sometimes it is, like this move here, this first impulse wave here is really quite beautiful, and this one here is a bit uglier, and so on. So we just still need to be careful about calling the low in place here. Sure, it's possible we can do that, but we want to move past this little 5-wave structure here. And if we can do that, then we know that we're going to be going up to the 50 at that point. That's the good news, okay? But if it can't get past this 5 waves, well, then it's going to come back down this way. So it's all about that 5 waves there, you know? And that's what we need to have a look on with other markets as well. So let's just check on that with the other markets. So I'm just bringing Ethereum up here. This is it wasn't a previous low over here either as well. And there's also a case now too, just to put this here as 1 and 2, and yes, I know it's got overlapping wave structures, 3 here. Oh, sorry. It's already confusing enough, let alone me making it more confusing for you. I mean, could you count it like that? Bit of a long shot, isn't it, really? I'd probably go for wave 4 and 5 here, and then look at this as an A and a B and a C wave over here, because it's a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here, even though I can't see 5 waves in this gappy bit here, but I'd assume that. But that's not our issue at the moment. This is where we're working with over here. Let's just bring these across. So this is same but different here, isn't it? But the 35,000 that we're talking about on Bitcoin is the same thing here as well. We would need to see this, the same story. We'd need to see this as support. And support to me is there's many ways to do support. So you can do it through volume, which is even better, but I just do these simple pictures here because being in kindergarten makes it easier. So we're just looking for those highs there, that high, that high, that high, that high, bringing it down all the time. That's all we're doing. That will keep us safe. That's what we've been doing. But I want to see if we get past this 5-wave structure here. This one here is a little bit more dodgy here. I can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Maybe it's all wrapped up in there, but that also looks 5 waves there. Let's just open this up a little bit. I can't see an answer for this one at the top of my head just quickly here, but that looks like that's 5 waves here. That's 5 waves, that's corrective waves. So that's okay for this point in time here, that and that. But this here could be an A, B, and C wave for the A wave and the B wave here, but I'm just trying to get an impulse wave out of it. I can see that. I can see we've got 5 waves in this first move here, so that's probably wave 1, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. All of this is just 3rd wave here. It's like we don't have a 5th wave here for this. So then this brings it over to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then from this high it counts as an A and a B and a C wave here. So it's not helping me much here for that. That's a little bit sort of ugly. So I'm going to go, we'll just use Bitcoin's count for this. So that's 5 waves. Just checking these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. Oh, that's 1 and 2 just to there. That's 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the 3rd wave here. Then we got that one. Oh yeah, so maybe we can fit that in. It's pushing the envelope a little bit further though. So this is it looks like the top of the 3rd wave here, but I think we've got more here. I think we've got this as a 4th wave or some sort of ABC pattern here, and this is going up. So we still want to see that first high above the level. Okay, that's all I could say with Ethereum. We want that high above the level there, and then we'll see that come out from there. So yeah, same story. We want that first high above the level, and then we can look to go long at that point, which is probably is bullish. I mean, it looks nice and strong, doesn't it? But we just don't want to get sucked in to this. So I can say with ETH here, we don't have a very easy count to count here. So when I can't figure out the count, or it doesn't count properly, I always go to the price. I always go to the trading levels, always go to the closest largest number, and then I look for my simple support thing here. So that's what we're going to do, because this is where it can fail from here. It could just fail from this point. That's the trap. Okay. So I can look at ETH in two different ways. So we can look at ETH as wave A down here, then an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. So that's possible, because so far here we've only got 3 waves here. I was thinking that this little move here would be wave 4, so an A and a B and a C, what we've just been looking at then, and then down for wave 5 here. So in that case, it would make a count like this that we've been tracking here. Just fix my drunken mess up here a little bit. Not that I drink anymore, yeah. So I mean, can we call that wave 5 down here? So this is where it gets a bit dodgy, you know. This is where the levels just really come in nicely. So we could call that there. We could put that there, even though we don't have a new low, because we do have that sort of nice 5-wave structure here. So it could be an A and a B and a C to this point and down, or it could be over here as well. So this is why we need to be just a little bit more careful. Tops and bottoms, sometimes they're just perfect, and most of the time they're kind of catch you off guard a bit. So yeah. So this is how this could play out. We could also put this as a triangle pattern over here as well, and have that low in place here. So this wave B over here, as Kitty pointed out here, as an A, B, C, D, and E here. So that that works as well. So there's different things that can work. But our job is, well, we're analysts, so we've got to look at all the counts and put them on the table, and you have your opinions about them. But when it comes to trading, then we need the right setup as well. And as I've been harping on about here, is that we need that 2000 as the support. And we need either this pattern, which is a classic trading levels pattern, to do it, or we can have the variation of this where it doesn't come back below the level here. It can be like that. It's just a variation of that. Or the only other pattern that comes into play is where the overshoot pattern, where it doesn't stop here and just goes straight up through here. It runs out of steam and then folds back. And we got this first high here to work with. Then we got a second high and a third high. There's not really a lot that can happen at a price point. It's either one of these patterns in its own little way, or the market just goes straight through and never comes back, or hits the level and never comes back. But if it's going to have some type of correction at a big number, and 90-odd% of the time they do, then we've got something to work with. We can get our teeth into it. We can find a setup for them. And that's all we're really trying to do at this point. So using my method is good, because it doesn't get you caught in things like this. Or if it does catch you, you're out of it quickly, So yeah, look, we're trying to find a bottom. Is this the bottom? I don't know. And we know that Ethereum is weaker than Bitcoin. So Ethereum could have another wave down where, but that could just and make a new low here, where it wouldn't make a new low for Bitcoin. It would just be some other pullback, So there's a few different things that can come in. Then they'll tune in a little bit later with themselves. So yeah. I'll just leave it at that. So just really simple. The long trade, the safe long trade, is having the 2000 as the support. And for Bitcoin, it's the 35,000 as support. Yes, we've got positions in there earlier, but I try to do a variation to suit everybody. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment with this. So let's see how this plays out, shall we? I mean, it's looking positive this morning, isn't it? Well, it'll be Sunday where the main volatility is in the other side of the planet. Yeah, alrighty, I'll just leave it at that. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.